All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist from March 15th to March 19th. In this video, I'll be going over 20 stocks with breakout potential in the upcoming week. All of these stocks are above their 200-day simple moving average, which itself is in an uptrend. They're all 150% or more above their 52-week low. They've all shown great relative strength while the market pulled back the last 2 to 3 weeks. And we're always looking for the strongest stocks that have tightened up a little bit and are ready to break out again. So from last week's watch list, we had three pretty large winners: ADNT up 25%, ORGO up 17%, and GPI up 10% just on the week alone. So when I did this watch list for last week, I had about 12 stocks in my first search, and then I narrowed that down to 10 stocks. 9 of those were winning trades. One of them was a losing trade, just about 2% down, and the average return for that watch list was 9%. This week, I found 45 stocks that had quality setups. So going from 12 last week to 45 this week is an indicator that the market bounced back. We're seeing a lot of great strength, a lot of good volume coming in on possible breakouts. So for now, it looks like the market is back to being strong. I'm going to be putting on many new trades this upcoming week and trying to increase my exposure in the market. If this is your first time watching Stock Tricks with Nick, please like the video. If you enjoyed the content, subscribe to the channel and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. I do this breakout watch list on Sunday mornings. I do a live stream either on Tuesday or Wednesday night, depending on how the market's shaking out, just to update this watch list and go over the stocks that you guys want to see. On Friday, I do a trading recap, going over all the stocks that I personally traded, breaking down what I did well, what I did not so well. I show my winners, but I especially show my losing trades because that's where I learn the most, and that's where you guys will learn the most as well. If you're new to trading, I also just started a Trading 101 series where I'll be teaching 3 of my friends who have never traded before all of the trading basics. That first video just dropped last Friday, and you can find that on my channel. If you're coming here for a specific stock, I'll put the timestamps of each of the setups in the comments below. Quick disclaimer, anything that I say is not stock or financial advice. This is all for educational purposes only. These are just the stocks that I'm looking at. Please do your own due diligence before trading. Trading comes with financial risk. All right, so here is the stock lineup for the week. You can see 19 of the stocks here. I'm sure I'm covering CLSK in the bottom left, which is going to be in the week 11 vote. But don't worry, we'll go over that chart as well. So not going to talk about all of them here because we can break down their charts. Also, reminder, once you finish this video, go to my Twitter account and vote on your favorite setup of CLSK, MARA, REKR, and SONO. So with this poll, I run each week for all of 2021. All the money that I make on TikTok, I put into a trading account and let you guys vote on how we invested each week. If that trading account beats my own personal trading account on a weekly compounding basis, I'll be giving it all away to people who commented on that initial TikTok video, which I'll post right here. So you guys are seeing the notification drop in. All you have to do is put your Twitter or TikTok handle in the comment section of that video, and you'll have a chance to win the trading account. Also, at the end of March, I'll be giving away $100 to a random commenter in that video as well. So make sure you drop your handle there and vote on your favorite setup after you watch the video. First, we have ALDX. This was on a breakout watch list earlier, maybe 2 weeks ago or so. We had this strong move up here, up 120%, and then we pulled back 30%, had another move higher, pulled back. And what I really like with this is we had one day here where we undercut the low in the previous pullback. So anyone that had missed the breakout here, gotten in on this pullback, probably put their stop around this area and was just holding on, and then we punctured that low. So anyone with stops basically at the previous low got stopped out, and a new group of traders stepped in, and everyone has stops below this point. Most people have stops below this point. This had earnings last week, moved slightly higher, good volume, higher highs, higher lows, and we're now above both the 8-day, the 20-day, and the 50-day moving averages. I personally only trade stocks above their 50-day moving average, so always looking for the best relative strength in the names. So with this one, I'm just looking at the high from March 1st, which is 1283 as a possible buy point. So I only buy stocks as they're coming out over breakout points. We call them pivot points. I'm not trying to buy a stock that's just randomly pulling back because, as we've seen the last 3 weeks, it's really tough to call when a bottom is in. So I always wait for stocks to find some buying support and then push over past resistance points. So again, 1283 is going to be my buy point on ALDX. Next, we have APPS. This is one that showed great relative strength during the first week of the pullbacks, and I actually bought this on this lower pivot through here, sold some into strength, got stopped at even on the rest. But another one that we had this pullback, second pullback undercut the previous lows. In the second pullback, we also filled this gap too, gap in the chart from the high on February 3rd to the low on February 4th. So that gap's filled. That's something that swing traders take a look at. So since then, we are 40% off the lows there. Lots of good buying stepping in. What I would like to see on this is some sideways down action. Maybe we don't get that. Maybe we just gap up and go. I don't chase stocks that gap up over my buy points. If the market's strong, there's going to be another breakout just around the corner. And if the market's weak, well, you didn't want to put on extra exposure in a weak market anyway. So I'm going to want this to trade down into the right, at least open lower than the high on Friday, and then that high becomes buyable. So 89.28, the high from Friday is the area that I'm looking at. But ideally, we get a couple candles where this trades sideways or down to the right before breaking out with a little bit more juice. So that's APPS. Next, we have AVYA. This is one that I traded last week, but got stopped out on. I think it was on this candle where we broke out over the high from March 9th, but then we squatted. I had a 2% stop on it because as I'm trying to get more exposure into the market, I have very tight stops on all my positions just in case we do. This was just a bull market bounce, and then we flush lower. So with this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 highs at the same price. So just break out over Thursday's high, 31.38 is my possible buy point. That's AVYA. And just because I got stopped out of a trade doesn't mean I'm not going to be looking to get back in as long as it's holding relative strength, which it is. If you guys are enjoying this video, please leave a like on the video and share this with any stock trading friends. Really helps the channel grow, and it's been growing really rapidly with all your support, so I appreciate that. Next, we have BW. This has been on a watch list before as well. Had a very strong move up, 152% from just the beginning of the year. Since then, we had pulled back. I want to say this was 29%. Had another pullback, didn't quite undercut the first pullback's low, which would have been ideal, but still a nice quick flush. And then trending higher. We're above the 8, above the 20, above the 50, and the 200, all in the right order, showing great relative strength. And now we have this downward diagonal that's showing some resistance. I would just be using the high from Friday, 769, as a possible buy point. And because the diagonal also correlates with that same buy point, you have two different types of traders looking at that exact same price. So just more supply coming into the name once we break out over 769. So that's BW. Next we have CLSK, and this is one that you guys can vote on for the Tik Tok Trading Challenge. This is one that we had on a watch list before, but then that's when the market just flushed down. Zooming out here so you get a better picture. This has been in an extremely strong uptrend. Went up 390%, then started drifting down to the right as things sold off. Since then, we did get a slightly lower volume bounce. So some caution with this. One strike against the chart is something that I'll say, because not many setups are perfect, but we want to be cognizant of what's going well with the chart, what's not so well. So we have 1, 2, 3 days basically around the same high. So I'd be using Thursday's high, 31.75, as a possible buy point there. We're above the 50, above the 20, and above the 8 now, and above this volume shelf here, so less resistance up top. If we can open lower and then take out the high, that would be my buy point. Again, 31.75 CLSK, and one that you guys can vote on. Those are the first 5. We got 15 more for you. CMRX, and I'm not trying to trade every single one of these stocks. I'll be watching all of these to see how they hold up, but typically I trade between 5 and 10 to 15 stocks if everything's working. Not trying to trade every one of these. So CMRX, we had this nice gap up, 100% move up, and then we moved even higher over to this high. So 140% since basically the beginning of the year. Had some downward action, and then a low that got undercut on this pullback on March 5th, which is nice to see. Again, that shakes out all the stops that were placed on that pullback buy. Bounced higher. We're above the volume shelf, above the 50, the 8, and right below the 20-day moving average. I'll just be using Thursday's high as a possible buy point there, which would be 1035. This is CMRX. Next we have FLL. Doing some measuring, we had 168% move up. We had a pullback of 29%, but then that pullback got undercut twice. Again, you like to see that. And then earnings came around, popped on earnings, and then had 3 daily highs around the same price. You could probably draw, downward diagonal. Let me take away some of these measuring. But now we're looking at this downward diagonal resistance hitting 4 daily highs. What I'll be looking for is just a break over the high from Wednesday, which would be 874 as a possible buy point. Again, trying to get that confluence of indicators. We got the diagonal, and we got just a flat top buy point. So that's what I'm looking at for FLL. GPRE is next. This is another one that I traded earlier, but got stopped out on this red candle. This formed a nice little pivot through there. Got out, probably sold some in strength. I need to check on that, but again, stopped even or slightly below. But just because I got stopped, still looks very favorable of a chart. We had a move of 122% since the beginning of the year. We had that first pullback. Let me measure that. First pullback of 17%. That pullback got undercut with these 2 candles. You like to see that. Now we're above the volume shelf, and we have the 8, 20, 50, and 200-day all in the right order, looking nice. What I would be looking for, there's 2 daily highs here that I might just ignore. If we open lower and maybe have a couple days where we're trending down and then just break over the high from February 19th, $28 flat, that would be my buy point. If we just continue higher, I would be a little bit more cautious trading that because it is getting a little extended, but 28.77 is the all-time high here. That's GPRE. Next we have IAC. This is one traded before. A lot of these stocks I've traded before, but 117% since November. Nice strong action there. We had a pullback to the 50-day moving average of only 17%. So even though this pulled back all the way to the 50-day, 17% is not much of a pullback. Bounced higher. This one's a little bit tricky because there is this volume shelf that we're living in right now. So this is just the volume traded at each of these price ranges. I call that the volume profile. But we held up over the 8-day, and if we could pop over Wednesday's high of 249.68, that would be my possible buy point. That would also put us over the main part of this volume shelf, so less resistance up top here if we do so. It's IAC. We wrap up the first half of the video with MARA, another stock that you guys can vote on. This is tied to crypto, so maybe this already gaps up on Monday. Not sure exactly what's going to go on. I'm filming this on Saturday, so maybe Sunday we pull back. Sets this trade up nicely, but this is one that I tried on Friday, got in with the break over Thursday's high, and then it flushed down 5%, stopped me out at a 5% loss. But still looking at this for a possible break over Friday's high, 43.60. Ideally, we get a couple down to the right days, maybe test the 20-day moving average, test that volume shelf of support. Once you're over that, pulling back to it, it becomes support. But then breaking out over Friday's high of 43.60 is my possible buy point. Right through there, MARA. All right, Back half now, PLL. This is one that a lot of breakout traders were watching. We had that downward diagonal, nice flush, and then just higher highs, higher lows, and then really took off. Had a 46% move up before the market really pulled back. 44% move back, bounced right at that 50-day moving average. Then we had higher highs, and then a double inside day. So highs were below the highs of the previous day, lows are higher than the lows of the previous day, and that happened twice. So you're seeing that price constrict a little bit. I would just be looking at break over Wednesday's high. It's not perfectly drawn. 74.98. Call it 75 as a possible buy point there. Good volume on this kind of pivot reversal day right there. PLL. Next we have PRTA, and I already have a position in the stock, but it's one that I will be looking to add. Let's do some measuring. We're above the 200, 50, 28, all in the right order. 157, 155% move up. Pullback of 23%, and then that pullback got flushed. We tested under the 20-day. Buyer stepped in right there, and I bought this on this nice kind of 3-day pivot through here, and then had some follow through. Lower highs, lower lows on Friday, but the low of the day bounced right at that converging 8-day exponential, 20-day simple moving average. So I'll be adding on to this trade if it breaks 23.91, the high from Thursday. It's PRTA. Next, we have REKR, and this is one of the stocks that you guys can vote on for the weekly poll. So zooming out here, obviously this has been in a very strong uptrend. Just from December, it's up around 360%. Since then, we did have a very strong pullback as the market pulled back. First to the 20-day moving average, around 29%. Then we had that flush actually below the 50-day moving average, 46%. But that was a very quick pullback. Found support at the 50-day and ran into earnings. Earnings last Wednesday moved higher. The next day we had higher highs, higher lows on good volume. And then actually Friday's candle sets this trade up really well. This is an inside candle, so the highs from today or Friday were below the highs from Thursday. The lows from Friday are higher than the lows from Thursday. Low of the day on Friday also found support at that converging 8-day exponential and 20-day simple moving averages right there, along with the main part of that volume shelf. So good support at that level. Also take note of the very light volume that came on that sideways action day on Friday. And now we're just looking for a flat top breakout here. Breaking out over Thursday's high of 17.93 would be the buy point. RFP, this has been on the watch list for a while. Zooming out, nice strong uptrend, 250.28, all in the right order. Great relative strength while the market sold off, and then this just traded sideways for a while. So I don't even know how many daily highs are right at that same price, but a break over 988 would be the possible buy point on that from March 8th's high. Ideally, we get going, we break 10, and that brings in new buyers. That's RFP. Next, we have RICK. This is one that I tried to trade. I got filled with my Roth IRA, but in my trading account that I do the trading recaps on, I only got one share filled. So we'll be looking to add this on Monday if we don't gap up. If we open lower and then take out the high, this is a high tight flag. Had a move of 91%, pullback of 19%. So high tight flags, 90% or more in 8 weeks or less. Pullback of 25% or less. And if all of this trading terminology confuses you, make sure you start with that Trading 101 video that I just dropped. That's going to be a course for beginning traders and intermediate traders, just getting putting together a rule book on trading. So with this one, high tide flag, if we just continue higher, I might just take a break into all-time highs at $73. Otherwise, if we open lower, then take out the high from Friday, 71.64, that would be my buy point. RICK. Got 5 more for you. If you're enjoying the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Just broke 5,000 subs, which is awesome to see. I really appreciate all the support that you guys constantly give me. RYAM. This has been in the watch list for a while, even down here. Had a nice move, 36%. Then earnings popped at 57%. This ATR, average true range, that measures the daily bars the last 14 days. So you can see price range is finally starting to tighten up. Volatility is cooling down. We had a lower volume day on Friday as we bounced at the 8-day exponential moving average. I'd be a little bit more cautious with this and just look for a break over March 9th's high of $11 as a possible buy point. RYAM. Next, we have SI. This is one that I've been trying to get in for a while now, so kind of excited that it has a buyable point now, but 230% up. We did pull back 53%. Typically, I don't trade stocks that move back 53%, but this was a quick flush on the day. You can see last time it pulled back, it found some support, and we dropped that again. So really exhausting all the sellers at this point. And we had a really good follow-through day here with higher volume, and then we continued higher in the trend. So what I'll be looking for this, I'm not going to take Friday's high as a possible breakout because I want to get over this volume shelf. I want to get to a place where there's very little resistance up top, so higher probability with the trade. So I'll just be looking for a break over March 2nd's high, which is 153.37 as a possible buy point. It's SI. Next we have SONO. Zooming out, you can see 250.28 all in the right order. Great relative strength picking up. ATRs finally starting to flatten out, pulling back, and this is just kind of a quick cup here. Friday had lower highs, lower lows. Ideally, we get a couple days moving down. Maybe we test this volume support before taking out into a new high, which would be 41.99, the high from March 2nd. Just call it $42. Break into $42 would be my possible buy point. But ideally, we do kind of exhaust some short-term sellers, pull back to the volume shelf here, and then find some support. SONO, TAOP. This one has a lot of potential, but it's a thinly traded name, so not one that I'm going to put a full-size position on, but we had a move up 390% just since February, pulled back 44%, and now we're starting to flag out here. You can see, I mean, just right through there. Probably a lot of traders are seeing this, and as you can see, ideally we pull back a little bit, test that 20-day moving or 8-day moving average, allow some time for the 20-day to set up. But if we just continue higher, a break over Thursday's high of $11 would be my buy point on this one, TAOP. And last but not least, we have VOXX. Had a nice breakout on earnings through here, 106%. Pulled back to the 20-day, then we had some highs, more highs. Market pulled back, growth stocks got hammered. This pulled back 36%, so not 50 or 60% like some of the growth stocks. So technically, some good relative strength on the growth names. And with this, we just have a flat pivot through a couple daily highs here. So we have the high 23.91 and the high from Thursday 24.02. So break over Thursday's high 24.02 would be my possible buy point. Friday we had let's see, lower highs 22.52, 22.45. So lower highs, lower lows, but still staying above that 8, 20, and 50-day moving average. Break over 24.02, and we're over this volume shelf as well, so very little resistance up top. All right, that is going to be the breakout watch list for the upcoming week. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. Make sure you drop your Twitter or TikTok handle in that TikTok Trading Challenge video. I'm giving away $100 at the end of March, and at the end of the year, if that TikTok account beats my own on a weekly compounding basis, I'll be giving that away as well. If you're new to trading, check out the Trading 101 video that I just posted. That's episode 1 of the series where I'll be teaching 3 of my friends who have never traded before how to trade. All right, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the Midweek Movers live stream. Have a great weekend.